Hello and welcome to As I Play Dying. My name is Ryan and I'm testing out two things here. One, we're going to be taking a look at Destiny Strike Mission, and two, this is actually footage that was recorded and processed on a PS4 using their software called Share Factory. I had the voiceover in post, but I could have done it in there because, believe it or not, my microphone that I use on my computer is compatible with the PS4. Anyways, we are going to take a look at a strike mission with a buddy of mine named Valgir20. Mike, if I messed that up, it's your own damn fault. And another guy called Dark Blitz 9, who I met in the Destiny Alpha, and he's a pretty cool guy. As you can see here, we each have a different ship, which is sort of cool. Again, they're just sort of vanity things. And I absolutely love the loading screen because it really gives you a nice,
beneath the ruins of a cosmic
epic feel.
the shadow of an old colony ship
Sort of gives you a sense of place and a more tangible world. Because you've seen stuff like this. Like, look at that, the globe in the background. You've seen stuff like that on NASA feeds all the time. So I really do like that. Now, this is not going to be a full strike mission because, unfortunately, something dorked up on the PS4 record. So I don't really have all that, but I will be uploading stuff from Twitch. But yeah, there were two different difficulty settings for this mission. One was is Brave, which is what we're doing on right now. Brave could be, I would say, the equivalent of Halo hard. It's definitely not legendary, and in Bungie's tradition, the hardest, masochistic-like difficulty setting is, in fact, legendary for these strike missions. And what's actually cool, you can actually see there's things firing at these hive, and it's actually falling. So not only do these races not like you, but they don't like each other, which is pretty cool. I'm actually using a special auto rifle right now, and it's only special because it is what they call a Vanguard weapon. Vanguard stuff is, I believe, going to be like a tier higher than your average stuff for any given level, and it is that way because you have to accomplish certain feats to get Vanguard points. Then on top of that, you have to cash in collectibles in the world to actually level or to get a higher Vanguard level. So there's many different tiers and many different things in Destiny to level up. Here, you can even see that I have a sniper rifle there. And you can tell all the Vanguard weapons by the white and orange logo, usually on their barrel. Now, there's actually going to be a number of other weapons that do the same thing, or act in a similar fashion, but those are called faction weapons. There's a number of different factions. You can think of these as guilds like you would in things like Skyrim. You know how you have the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, and stuff like that. Well, in here you got a number of them. But unfortunately, in the alpha, you never hit high enough level for them to give you anything. A couple of the ones that I know of are the Future War Cult, the Dead Orbit, the New Monarchy, and Osiris. I want to say I'm missing a few, but we actually didn't even get to see the whole tower and everything that's in it, which is like the home hub, if you remember what I said before. We never got to see the whole thing of that in the alpha. Now, I switched back to my rare auto rifle just because it was actually better than my Vanguard one, just because, like I said, it's an alpha, they're not going to show you everything. But this is a strike mission, Devil's Lair, and we can see here more hive are fighting some Fallen. And this is the first major crescendo of this, and you can think of strike missions as like dungeons. They're going to be a gauntlet that is going to be fairly difficult your first 2 or 3 times through. And yeah, you'll eventually learn them, but that's why you have the higher difficulties, because the higher difficulties, from what I've seen, not only increase the number of characters, but increase like the damage resistance, and it even tells you that straight up. So Destiny's not going to be one for the faint of heart when it comes to this. Now you can see I sent off my little ghost to activate the this part of the mission. And here we're going to be swarmed by a number of Fallen and Hive. They're going to come out of all the orifices of the level, to put it in graphic terms. They'll have high-level guys like this captain here, who is just, you know, being a punk. Tons of dregs. And then we're going to see Hive come out as well. They're going to have a couple wizards. There's another captain. He's just, you know, being a bitch. And there's going to even be cloakers. And we're going to actually fight a mini-boss captain at the end, which you're going to be able to tell the mini-boss because their health bar is going to be a different color, and because they are going to be soaking the damage like it was going out of style. As this goes on, you will see each wave will become progressively harder, and it feels really nice because, especially in this confined area, each one of the classes really plays to the strengths of the other. Unfortunately, I think we have 2 Titans and a Warlock. So 2 close-range guys, a mid-range guy who's really squishy, and no one for long distance. So we got boned a couple of times. You can see there I was actually shooting a cloaking sniper, and I'm going to hit this guy with a super, and he doesn't die because, I don't know. I guess he didn't like me. And you can see here I'm playing it pretty close because, well, I have to pull aggro away from my buddy Mike up there that you can see on the catwalk, just because we're trying to keep him alive. He's very squishy. I haven't used any of my special weapons yet. Oh god, here comes a lot of cloakers. I forgot about these guys. These guys are just a pain in the butt. Each race comes with a number of different variants. I've talked about the Fallen Captains, who are usually going to be the equivalent of like a Halo Elite, but more powerful than them, I would say, by just a smidge, because they can take a little bit more damage. They act in a very similar way. Then you're going to have the Vandals, who are going to be, I would say, like your standard elites. If you remember Halo Reach, they had different classes of elites. And this guy right here that I'm punching, that's a Vandal. And you can see here I'm adding stuff in. Yeah, what happened there was I set off my super and I killed a bunch of people, but you're not immune during your super. So I was soaking a lot of damage there, and I had a a Hive Thrall come up and swarm me. And right now we have 2 guys down. Me and Blitz are down, and Mike is sitting up there, and at this point in the match, we are yelling at him to stay put. You can see when you die in a strike mission, you have 30 seconds to respawn. So you typically do not want more than 1 person down at a time. And if you do have more than 1 person down at a time, the other person is no longer on rescue duty, but survival duty until someone else comes back. The punishment for failing to or for having all 3 members dead is that you go back to the last checkpoint. In this case, it'd be the first wave of this section of the strike mission. So we definitely don't want that. We're now entering in the final phase, and you can see here that there's some heavy ammo on the ground. And the reason why I'm not using my heavy ammo is because even if you pick up a lot of heavy ammo, it's really not. And you use your heavy ammo very sparingly. Even more so than in most games. Just because it is that rare to come by. So, you can see here they sent another wave of cloakers after us. Another wave of dregs. And I'm just not having it. I'm going to let them swarm me, and I have my rare shotgun here that I showed in my last video that has some beefy kick to it. This thing is fully leveled up. Okay, now see that green thing that they just threw out? That was called an engram. And this is where it sort of feels sort of like Diablo. Engrams have to be decrypted, so you gotta take them back to town. That was the end boss there. If you go back just a few seconds, you can see his health bar. And the reason why he went down so quick is because I have a very powerful rocket launcher, and I just didn't want to deal with him. So you can see here, I'm checking my stats. The little grayed and scratched out one, that's the engram. So we know that the engram at least is for a special weapon. As we move along here, we're going to be entering the second phase, which is immediately another boss phase. And this boss, Bullet Sponge does not accurately give the next boss justice. And no, it's not these guys, even though we do take out another captain and a couple dregs. We're going to be taking on a Devil Walker. A Devil Walker is about a 30-foot tall, armed, literally its teeth have machine guns, I swear to God, spider tank. It is ridiculous. In fact, I think it's actually more of a frustration to kill this thing than is the final boss of the strike mission. But you can actually see here, it just doesn't spawn. It's actually clinging to that drop ship up above, and you can actually see it drop down here. The boom. That is the Devil Walker, and it has like 2 or 3 one-shot kills. It has grenades that will fly out of its side, which will kill you instantly if they get a direct hit. It has a massive main cannon that will literally obliterate whatever it looks at. And then it has a Vulcan cannon for a mouth and numerous other things, and it will spawn enemies. Okay, you can see here, this little thing, this little laser sight there, it just fired its main cannon, and I got out of the way really quick, so I got lucky with that. Now, the bad part about this is that you will run out of ammo, and you will have to start killing all the little mobs that come out there. What you want to do with these things is shoot them in the legs, they'll drop down, and then their head's going to pop off like a rock sock'em robot, and that's where you hit it with your supers, that's where you hit it with your rocket launchers, and hopefully you can take it down pretty quick. We're doing good damage to it, but unfortunately, like I said, my PS4 fucked up, and this is about where the video ends. So I'm really sad to say that. I'm pretty sure you guys want to see me take on this Devil Walker, but you can see here how its head popped out, and we're going to try getting one shot in here. Boom. Hit weak spot for massive damage, and you can see its health is already halfway. Well, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this Share Factory look at Destiny Alpha. My name is Ryan. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Tumblr, Twitch, and Facebook. Have a nice day, and stay tuned for more Destiny content.